everyone, I'm Michaela Conley, and tonight I'm coming to you from the comforts of my own kitchen. Have you ever had a brownie that is so delicious, so chewy, flaky on top, really chocolatey, and just mouth-watering good? I bet you have, and tonight I'm going to make a brownie just like that for you. We're going to start out with all of our ingredients, our bowls, our utensils, and our recipe. It's always a good idea to have a recipe in front of you just in case you're not quite sure. Even the professionals use a recipe all the time. I have my oven set to 350, a pan that's greased, and a pot on the stove. So, first we're going to start out with our main ingredients. We have 3/4 cup of cocoa powder, a cup of flour, 4 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. We also have on the stove a cup of butter. It's melting right now so that we can start our recipe right away. We have to make sure that we have all of the ingredients at the right measurements. So I'm going to look through one more time on my recipe sheet. And it looks like everything is all here. So we're going to make sure that the butter is nice and melted. It's not over here boiling, it's just on a warm setting so that it's melted to just the right consistency. We're going to bring the pot of butter over to our big bowl right here. Pour that all in. Make sure that you've got it all. Put your pot back on the stove and turn the burner off. You want to make sure that's off. You don't want it running. And the next thing that we're going to do is add in all of our sugar. And our vanilla. Gonna make sure that's all stirred in. Now I know that you can see that I have everything all measured out right here, but it's not necessary that you do that. It's just something that I do to make sure that I have all the ingredients before I start. So it looks like our sugar, vanilla, and butter is thoroughly mixed. We don't have to overmix it. We don't need a mixer. It just needs to be mixed by hand. Okay. Then the next step is to add the eggs, one by one. And we're going to make sure that in each incorporation, we're going to make sure that the eggs are very well mixed in. For this, I'm using a whisk because it's going to make sure that everything gets very well incorporated. Egg 1 is mixed in. Go ahead with the second egg. Mix that right in. That one mixed in a little bit quicker. We can add our third egg. And the 4th one goes in at the same time. And that's okay. Things happen. So now that's really well mixed in. Again, not over mixing, just mixing to make sure that everything is well incorporated. Okay. The next part is to add in our flour all at once, our baking soda all at once, and our salt. Then mix. This can actually just be stirred in. We don't want to overmix at this point. By using the whisk, the spatula will do fine. And the batter in this bowl is very light. It's light, and the more that I mix this flour, it's getting light and fluffy. Just by doing a folding motion. I'm not vigorously mixing, I'm just lightly folding that flour in with the eggs and the sugar. Okay, our flour is mixed in, wipe down the sides, and our last ingredient is the things that makes brownies so good, the cocoa powder. Again, we're just going to fold it right in, keeping it light and fluffy. These are going to bake for about 30 to 35 minutes, and again, the temperature on the oven is 350 degrees. So we're going to keep an eye on those with our greased pan, and we will see. This is just starting to come together. I can see the chocolatey goodness forming. Keeping that light airiness in our brownies. We're getting a really rich batter in here. Okay, it looks like everything is incorporated. Again, I'm wiping down the sides. Make sure we didn't miss any of the cocoa powder. And I'm done here. I'm going to set aside my empty dishes and bring over my baking pan. Here's my baking pan. Nice and greased. It's about a 9 by 13 baking pan, which will be perfect for this to make a fairly decent sized brownie in height. If you want them to be a little bit taller, you would use a little bit smaller baking pan. About a 9 by 9. Okay, so we're going to pour this in here. Using a spatula to make sure that we get everything out of the pan. You don't want to leave any chocolate in the pan. To make sure that you get just as much as you can into the brownie mixture. I'm going to even it out, spreading from the middle to the corners. Making sure that everything is even. You don't want to gyp somebody on a piece of a good brownie. Everything looks even. I'm going to give it a good tap. Get all those little air bubbles out of there. Tap, tap one more time. And straight into the oven. Again, we're going to wait about 30 minutes, and then I'll show you what those delicious brownies look like. Hi everyone, I'm back now, and I just took the brownies out of the oven. They're really hot, so what we're going to do first is we're going to get our plate ready. We are going to put a big scoop of ice cream in it. Ice cream always goes with brownies. but not too much here. Just letting that brownie cool. We want to make sure that we get to taste this delicious brownie while it's just perfect. I'm going to cut out a good sized piece here. And we're going to lay it next to our ice cream. And there you have it, our perfect brownie. Let's taste it. It's nice and crunchy on the top, which is just what you want to look for in a brownie. You want to make sure it has that crust. And soft and gooey on the inside. So there you go. In just a couple steps, you too can have the perfect brownie.